ready, but we can't do it without you. Get your questions together and give us a call at 1-800-944-4664. The special 1-hour Kentucky Afield Fall Hunting Special starts right now. If you hold a Kentucky hunting or fishing license, then you have helped make possible Kentucky's wildlife management areas, places to hunt, fish, birdwatch, or just let your mind wander. With nearly 100 dotting the Commonwealth, put wildlife management areas in your sights for fall hunting and see more of what makes Kentucky's outdoors outstanding. Get all the information online at fw.ky.gov.
Tastes like victory.
Deal with Sugar over here. She a good dog? She's 3.5. She's with me all the time.
Hello and welcome to Kentucky Afield. I'm Tim Farmer. Tonight we have a special 1-hour call-in show all about hunting in Kentucky. And we're going to introduce our panel. To my left, Ben Robinson, small game biologist. Thanks for being here. To his left, Gabe Jenkins, new deer and elk coordinator. Thanks for being here. And to his left, Bill Spears is a conservation officer from Boyle County. Now we're going to take a second here. Now, over the years, I've known a lot of people in Fish and Wildlife who have dedicated their whole lives to Fish and Wildlife. They could have gone other places, done other things, probably made more money, but we lost a true legend. Ted Kroll, 1946 to 2014, was a fine man. He loved to fish. Everybody loved Ted Kroll. I don't know anybody that ever said a bad word about Ted. He was always smiling, always in a good mood, and as you can see there, he enjoyed fishing. He made it to the #2 man in fisheries. And I got a Ted story. When I first came in to Fish and Wildlife a long time ago, almost 25 years ago, they were messing with me. They said, "Farmer, did you get your Christmas turkey?" I'm like, "No." And they all said, "Well, we got our Christmas turkeys." They said, "You better go up front and see." Now Ted loved a good joke and he loved to mess with people, but he saw this green guy coming up there asking everybody, "Where's my turkey? I wanted my turkey. Everybody else got their turkey." He said, "Come here, Farmer." He says, "Somebody's messing with you." And I thought, "Oh, thank you." Before I went all the way down to the commissioner's office, he stopped me so I didn't look completely. But Ted, what a wonderful man. And what he's one of those folks who will go down in Fish and Wildlife history. He's one of the old timers, one of the guys that you'll be hearing his name forever in Fish and Wildlife. And wow, we've lost some good ones this year. Well, let's start right into the questions. And let me ask you first each a question that I know we're going to get tonight and get a lot of them. A lot of people are going to ask about quail, and we just did a recent quail hunt. The elk is taken care of. We've got the big stuff taken care of. And a lot of people assume that we're not doing anything with the quail. What's going on with quail restoration?
Yeah, that's a great way to start the show. Actually, we have a whole lot going on for quail restoration right now. We're operating on a 10-year quail restoration plan that John Morgan and myself put together back in about 2008. And we're approaching, we've just wrapped up the first 5 years of that plan. So we're putting together a benchmark report where we're really evaluating ourselves, what we did good, what we did bad, how we're going to move forward. We're having that plan, hoping to have that plan released in January. And it's going to really show some good results. We're really proud of what we've seen so far in a lot of our focus areas. We're seeing some big increases in the areas that we're really, spending time and resources on. So quail are making a comeback.
All right, now we're seeing some questions coming already. We're going to also take a couple Facebook questions as well, and if you haven't got on our Kentucky Afield Facebook page, feel free to do so. Tonight would be a good time. Get on there, like us, and then ask a question if you'd like to do so. First of all, Frida in Scott County wants to know what causes an albino deer, and a lot of people think that there's something weird going on and you can't take these animals. What causes that to happen?
Well, Tim, that's a good question. Basically, what you're looking at, it's a melanistic color change or melanistic problem with the deer. They are legal to harvest in Kentucky. We don't see too many of them across the state. It's more of a piebald, if you will, a little bit of white on the legs, coming up the belly sometimes, but they're legal to harvest, both bucks and does.
All right. Justin is from Pulaski County. I'm required to tape a harvesting tag onto a deer after the kill, or can I just put the info in my wallet with my license? It's a good question.
Yeah, what you're going to need to do is after you, once you get the animal down, you're going to want to fill out the harvest log, that information on the back of your hunting license, the species, the sex of the animal, the date, and the county that it was taken in. You need to keep that with you. As long as that animal stays in your possession, you won't need to attach any type of carcass tag or anything to it.
Okay, Neil is from Perry County. During the winter, what is the main diet for Kentucky elk? Now, Kentucky elk, compared to some of the elk out west, they got it pretty easy.
Right. Our elk are mainly grazers. They eat grass. That's preferred forage in the winter. We do know that they like to eat acorns. They move in the timber. Right now, especially, they're eating a lot of acorns. As the snow gets out and it gets cold, they'll move out, eat grass, but we see them in the timber a lot now these days.
Now, this is one question we're going to get a bunch tonight, so let's go ahead and hit this. Jason's from Laurel County. Is the rut going to be in rifle season?
It usually is, Tim. Our peak of the rut pretty much across the state yearly is around the 17th of November. The reports I'm hearing right now, the bucks are out chasing, looking good, but I would look for it to be right in the middle of our gun season.
Brian is from Kenton County. If you're rabbit hunting and you see a deer during deer season, okay to shoot the deer if you have a slug in your gun?
Yeah, as long as you're a legal hunter, as long as you've got the license and permits that you need, sure.
Dylan is from down around Martin. He says, if you kill a deer, but it is a buck, what do you do? Oh, excuse me. If you kill a doe, but it is a buck.
You check that animal in as an antlered animal. We often call it buck or doe, but it's actually antlered or antlerless is how it is.
Gotcha. And I think what he meant to say, and I'm just reading them as they come out, but if you kill a doe that happens to have 10 points, which happens every now and then, you try to check that as an antlered animal.
Correct. Yeah, and that would be what we call, that'd be your buck for the year. That'd be your antlered animal for the year.
Okay, Scott is from Grayson County, and there was a poacher in his yard today. Now, how do we respond to report a poacher?
1-800-25-ALERT would be the number straight to our dispatch. And then if nothing else, you could call the sheriff's office or something like that. But yeah, we try to get out there right away and take care of that.
Gotcha. Jeff is from Spencer County. Can you use an ATV to retrieve a deer on public land?
Depends on the public land as far as I know. Is he talking about a certain WMA or?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I would check with the regulations on whatever WMA you're hunting on.
Alice is from Ohio County. What's the difference between Pope and Young scoring system and Boone and Crockett?
Pope and Young is for archery only. Pope and Young does not include crossbows. They have a lower scoring system. Boone and Crockett accepts all method of take, so it can be taken with a crossbow, firearm, muzzleloader, and it's a higher record book. And those animals are tracked yearly for all species of big game.
I'd be really happy to get either one of them.
Yes, sir.
Damon is from Stanford. Can a convicted felon hunt with a muzzleloader in Kentucky?
It depends. As long as his conviction was prior to July the 15th of 1994, he could. But if you've got a conviction for a felony after that date, then no, you can't hunt with any type of long gun whatsoever, muzzleloader, rifle, or shotgun.
In a zone, this is Donald from Floyd County, in a Zone 4 county, can you hunt hogs through the rifle season?
You can hunt hogs year-round.
They are a nuisance species?
Absolutely.
James is from Campbell County. Can you hunt deer over feeders?
Yes, as long as you're on private land, not on some kind of wildlife management area. Or...
All right, Tim is from Franklin County. How does the elk harvest look this year?
Elk harvest looks good. Our archery bull was up a little bit compared to last year, and we've seen an increase in our archery hunters and their success. Seems that they're doing better over the years. Firearms was right on line with last year, so things look pretty good for our bulls. and cow archery is going on currently, and that's bumping along right average.
I think we have a young viewer here, Shane's from Hardin County, wants to know, how does a deer grow antlers? That is a pretty amazing process.
Yeah, it is, and it's amazing how fast it goes. You know, and they drop antlers in the early spring and start growing them back, and they're fully developed in a couple months, 3 or 4 months.
Rob is from Munfordville, and he's been hearing lots of quail whistling this year. That's a good thing, and he wants to know what's going on. I mean, when I was a kid, growing up around Mason County, you heard meadowlarks and you heard quail in the summertime. You don't hear that as much as you did.
Yeah, and like I touched on.
But he's hearing them.
Yeah, touched on earlier, we do have a lot of work going on for quail around the state. The last 2 springs and summer, the weather has just been great for quail reproduction, and we're getting a lot of anecdotal reports from around the state with folks hearing a whole lot of quail. We're seeing areas that have really good, high-quality habitat. The birds are responding, and the weather is helping out. So we're having a pretty good. We had a pretty good hatch this year.
Jack Hatfield is from Pike County. Do I have to wear hunter orange while riding his ATV, or wait till he actually gets in the woods? If he's in the act of hunting.
If he's in active hunting, he needs to wear the hunter orange. If you're riding ATV in the woods, it would be advisable to wear your hunter orange.
Jeff is from Clark County. How old do you need to be to hunt with a rifle during deer season?
We don't stipulate an age as far as how old you have to be or how young you have to be to hunt with a rifle.
Ralph is from Breckenridge. Is it legal to build a blind on your trailer? So if you have an existing structure, a home, and you wanted to, and maybe it's a hunting trailer.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as it's not a moving platform, it should be fine.
Lisa is from Lincoln County. Why not more rabbit segments on Kentucky Afield? Well, up until today, it would have been illegal, but we're getting ready to go. Today, the season opens when?
Season opens November 1st in the eastern zone, and
right.
then we've got a split. The western zone is going to be the Monday after opening weekend of deer season. I believe that's the 10th this year.
Man, I like me some rabbit hunting now. All right, Nathan is from Berrien County. How are the deer doing this year? Everybody wants to know how they're doing. I know there's plenty for them to eat.
Yeah, deer are going great. We've had a great mast year. Most of our hunters are keen on the oak flats, red oaks, white oaks, and harvest looks good. We're right on average. So everything's looking up on the up and up.
Mark's from Franklin County. For the fall archery quota hunt, can you use a crossbow?
It depends if the season's in and if the WMA that you're hunting on allows that. You'd have to check with that.
Charles is from Boone County. Will we ever have preference points for the elk drawing?
We've looked at that multiple years. Right now we're going to stick with the current system, but we look at how other states conduct those draws, and we feel that the system we have in place is the best one, and we'll continue to evaluate that between years and years, and don't know.
Daryl is from Menifee County. Why is the population low for deer in Menifee County?
That's a county that we've seen a decrease in over the last few years, and that's why we dropped it. And we're watching it. It might be harvest related, it might be habitat related. Ultimately, we want to try to protect a few of our antlerless deer. So dropping that down and protecting those animals should help see an increase.
Steve is from Marion County. A young buck had a really dark rack. What causes that? He said almost black.
It could be forage, it could be where it's spending its time, a variety of factors.
Okay, John is from Grayson County. Is it legal to have a concealed carry while hunting on private property?
Yes. Yeah, you can carry that as long as you have the proper CCDW. You can definitely carry while you hunt.
Eddie is from Greene County. If you're disabled, do you have to have a deer tag?
Yeah, you can buy the $5 disability license. Your deer permit's included in that.
This is Harlan from Letcher County. He's a big quail hunter, and he wants to know what can he do, or what can he put out for quail to bring them back, and that's a good question.
That is a good question. Yeah, we touched a little bit on habitat earlier. That's what it's all about with quail, is really improving the habitat. And over in his part of the world, a lot of the reclaimed strip mine lands are holding some pretty decent numbers of quail over there. They could use some improvement as far as food sources and things like that, but the big thing is really just to work to improve your habitat. We have several private lands wildlife biologists around the state that will be happy to come out and visit with that gentleman and make some recommendations and help him out with the management plan and hopefully get his property in really good shape for quail.
Here's a Facebook question from Mark Alexander. Is there been any word on the bear that passed through western Kentucky? Are we aware of a western Kentucky bear?
I know there was one back in the spring, June or July. It was kind of bouncing around from county to county. I believe it was a yearling male, young male, and I don't know anything more than that.
We're going to have more bear sightings.
Right.
I mean, it's, in Ontario where I've hunted bear, they look at them like big aggravating raccoons. They know how to keep their trash, and so it's just something we're going to have to deal with. And we're not stalking them or dropping them from helicopters, are we? I shouldn't have said that. All right, Jim is from Meade County. Why is the season longer in Zone 3?
Okay, Zone 3, it's actually shorter in Zone 3 compared to Zone 2 and Zone 1.
Okay, you know what? We have a guest. Let's go ahead and get her in here. This is Sarah Fitzpatrick. We were out having lunch the other day. Oh my goodness. And she walked up and we started talking. Oh my goodness. You're not going to believe what she's bringing up here. Now this is a perfect example of why folks should think about maybe going hunting this season, which is next weekend. Here's what you can expect to find. You can bring her on out whenever she's ready. And again, her name is Sarah Fitzpatrick, and she's going to be coming around here in a second from Lincoln County. Now, she said, well, I shot a pretty good sized deer. And I'm like, yeah, let me see the picture. She shows me this picture of this monster, and I think she's on her way out. Is she about here? Hey, are you sure? She comes right here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You want to get Sarah, if you will, kneel down right here, and I want you to look. I want you to look at this animal. This is the type of animal that's wandering around out there in Kentucky right now. Yeah. And we don't have you wired up, but I did want everybody to see this deer. So you would encourage young ladies, old men, whoever to get out and get after these. Take a look at this. Do you know what this scored?
173.
173.
Yeah.
I am so jealous. Thanks for coming in and showing us. I know this is impromptu, but we were having lunch the other day. You're hugging your deer now.
I mean, I do love him.
That's beautiful. Congratulations. And that's what you can expect to see in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
They tell me that it's a buck of a lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not going to stop.
No.
I'm going to stop now.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Now, how about that? Just out talking at lunch the other day. And, this happens all the time, but not that type of deer. Mm-hmm. Why is, and I'm going to ask you a quick question, why is Kentucky ranked in the top 5? All these states around the United States that are much bigger than us, some twice, 3 times as big, why is Kentucky in the top 5 for Boone and Crockett bucks?
For a variety of things, Tim. We have great habitat. We have a nice balance of woods and acres and good forage. We've got a lot of agriculture. Our hunters do a great job at managing does, which is always a positive. And then the 1 buck limit. With the 1 buck limit, that really allows our hunters to pick the animal that they want. And if they want to practice QDM practices, they can let the animal walk and get bigger. But it also allows somebody, if they want to shoot a smaller buck, they can. And that protects your age groups and lets them get older. And we just got a really good thing here in the state.
All right, Larry, excuse me. Does the game warden have the right to come onto private property and check my hunting license?
Yes, we do have the statute authority to come on your property and inspect anywhere there may be hunting activity going on.
Linda is from Mason County. Are elk all over the state or just in certain areas?
We try to restrict our elk to the 16 county restoration zone in southeast Kentucky. We do realize they do leave those counties, and we have an over-the-counter tag that if somebody sees an elk outside of the restoration zone, they can buy the over-the-counter zone or over-the-counter elk tag and shoot that animal with any legal means that are in for whitetail at that time.
Gordy is from Bracken County. Can kids hunt deer without a license or a deer tag?
Yeah, up until they're 12, they don't need, they're license exempt, and then 12 to 15, they can look at getting a youth license.
Jerry's from Hopkins County. Can you hunt deer with flint arrowheads? Do
That's a good question. I know the broadhead has to be 7/8 of an inch. Mm-hmm. I would say if you could get that, sure.
As long as you could meet the specifications.
Sure. I can't think of anything wrong with that.
John is from Shelby County. More folks out there trying to establish a quail population, having predator problems. He wants to trap. What animal should he direct the trapping towards? Coon, coyote. What is the main critter that's going to target your young quail?
Yeah, you know,
quail period.
Quail they're definitely at the bottom of the food chain, so everything goes after quail. Again, I've touched on habitat a whole lot, and I'll continue to. That's paramount, is getting the habitat in place, because you're really stacking the odds in favor of the bird when you have good habitat. If you wanted to implement some type of predator control, predator management type program, you know, hawks are one of the main predators of quail. There's nothing you can do about that. They're protected, you know, federally with the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. But a lot of mammals, raccoons, foxes, skunks, they're nest predators. So they eat a lot of quail eggs. That would be worth looking into, talking with a local trapper and inviting them onto your property.
All right, excuse me. Here's another Facebook question. This is Gary Beagle. Why are all the access roads going into Kleber gated?
You know, most of our areas, our wildlife management areas, are gated. We don't allow, most of them are foot travel only, and we don't allow vehicular traffic, ATVs, anything like that.
Chad is from Johnson County. Is it required to have tags to hunt on your own property?
No, if you own the property and you reside in Kentucky, you are license exempt.
Bill's from Hart County. He's a landowner and he takes a deer. What information does he have to have with him in case he's checked?
He needs to fill out the harvest log. It doesn't have to be on the back of a hunting license. He can write that on a note card, but it needs to be the type of animal, the sex of that animal, the date it was taken, and the county in which it was taken in, and then a confirmation number. He still needs to check that animal.
Mike is from Hardin County. Dove season. Can you harvest one setting, or must they be in flight?
You certainly could. They don't have to be in flight.
There's not much challenge in
You know,
that.
there's not the most ethical shot, maybe, but it's legal.
Okay, Jerry's from McCracken County. Do you need to tag a roadkill deer, or does it go against your harvest?
No, it doesn't go against your harvest. What you would want to do, if you want to keep that animal, either the antlers or the meat, you need to contact the local conservation officer and get a disposal tag for that.
Glenn is from Knott County. Why are you only allowed one antlered deer per season? And remember we talked about how Kentucky is in the top 5 nationwide? Maybe it has something to do with that?
Yeah, that's why, Tim. You know, our buck numbers are good across the state, and that allows us to shoot quality whitetail like we just saw. And but yeah, it gives everybody an opportunity to pick the animal they're willing and the one they like.
Okay, let me find another one here. Now, if you see me throwing questions away, it's not because I don't like your question. It's because it's already been, and we get a bunch of questions. I mean, a bunch of questions on this. We get a lot of repetitive stuff, and I will toss those away. Jeff is from Bullitt County. Best way to draw in turkey on property for food plots?
You know, you can't do any type of baiting. Obviously, you can't put out corn or anything like that, but you can definitely improve your habitat. Like you said, planting food plots, annual grain plots, wheat, milo, different things like that can definitely be attractants for turkeys.
Okay, Tim is from Clay County, and this one's going to be easy to answer. It sounds like he might have been fired up by that deer he just saw. He wants to know, what is opening season for modern gun deer? I know what it is.
Yeah, a week from today.
I'm telling you what. Ed's from Jefferson County. What do you do if you call in a poacher and nobody ever shows up?
Try again. I mean, we get a lot of calls this time of year. There's only so many of us, and there's a whole lot of country. So keep calling. Give us another try.
Ann is from Boyle County. Can you squirrel hunt from a boat with a .22 rifle?
You can squirrel hunt from a boat. You just have to be careful when you shoot it and it falls onto somebody else's property. Be careful retrieving that, because you would be technically trespassing.
Todd is from Boone County. Will running crossbow season concurrently with bow season be considered?
Not at this time, Tim. We're looking at a variety of methods to control our antlerless herd, especially in Zone 1 county. So I believe that was Boone County. That's one thing that we're going to investigate as a program, trying to figure out a way to reduce harvest or increase our harvest in our antlerless deer in Zone 1 counties.
Melissa is from Washington County. Can someone just go along with someone hunting if they just want to go to the woods with you?
Yeah. If somebody wants to go along, they don't need a hunting license unless they're actually hunting.
But if they're in the woods hunting with somebody, would they have to wear their orange?
They absolutely need to wear their orange.
Gotcha. Rodney's from Floyd County. What county has the best grouse population? If you had to send somebody to one particular county or a couple.
Yeah, if I was going to send somebody grouse hunting, I would focus more on the northeastern part of the state right now, probably around the Moorhead area.
Really?
It seems to be where the better numbers of grouse are. Grouse obviously are not doing that great, but I'm encouraged by some of the news I'm hearing right now around the department. It seems like there's a lot of talk about grouse, and so stay tuned. I think there's some good things to come for grouse.
A couple quick things. Answering our phones tonight is the Becoming an Outdoor Woman folks. Great people. They are celebrating 20 years this year. That's a long time, and it's a great program where they get ladies out there who've maybe never been hunting before, and they teach them things about how to process their game once they've taken it. Great outfit, and we thank them for answering the phones tonight. Mark's from Estill County. A grouse population question. What are we doing about that? Are we doing anything? Are we looking at that?
Yeah, that's like I just touched on. You know, we talk about this a lot. Most folks that do grouse hunt or live in the east, they understand the problem. The problem is the habitat's not there. The forests are really aging and getting old, and grouse like a good variety. They like young forest, really thick, shrubby growing up areas, you know, after clear cuts, things like that. And we just don't have a whole lot of that right now. But like I said, there's some discussions going on right now. Grouse, it's definitely on our radar, and we hope to start tackling that in the near future.
Tommy is from Campbell County. If you see a buck on the side of the road, what do you need to do legally if you want to harvest just maybe the horns or meat or whatever?
You need to call the conservation officer in that county and let him come out there, take a look at it, make sure it was roadkill, and then he can give you the tag if you want to keep those antlers.
Okay, we've seen that one. Okay, Rory is from Henderson County. Can you use scent? Can you use scent to attract deer on a WMA? Is it considered baiting? Pretty good question.
Yeah, I don't think you can use anything that'll attract them. Now, is it a cover scent? Is that his question, or is he talking about?
I think he's using like maybe an apple. I'm not sure. If you were going to actually put something on the ground.
You definitely can't put anything out that'll attract them. Now,
as far as sprayed yourself with an apple scent or something.
Yeah, that would probably be fine. But as far as putting anything out, I know you can't do that.
Michelle is from Callaway County. Why do we only use shotguns for night coyote hunts?
There's a whole lot of reasons probably, but the main one is to limit how far the shot goes and to try to keep people from shooting deer. And it's hard to see what's behind that shot, so try to use a shotgun, I think, to limit the range.
William is from Taylor County. I'm 12 years old and wants to know, do I have to have a hunter's safety card to hunt in the state of Kentucky?
Yeah, that's a great question. Anybody born after January the 1st, 1975 needs that orange card, that hunter education class. Kids that are under 12 are actually exempt from that, but once you turn 12, you're going to need to go ahead and have that class.
Okay, this is a legitimate question. Steve's from, and I've gotten several of these. Steve's from Franklin County. Will we have a better quality hunting license that won't fade? I get that question quite a bit.
That's a
good question. I'd be all for it if we did, because they wear out in your wallet.
That's about the fourth one I got.
Yeah, I'm afraid we can't answer that here. I'm not sure.
One thing I'm starting to see that does help is if you print it online, then you can put clear tape or something
That's
over
a good
it.
idea.
I see a lot of that, checking licenses and things. So.
Gotcha. Here's a call from Scott City, Indiana. Will Indiana hunter's safety card be valid in Kentucky?
Yes. Yeah. It's reciprocal both ways.
And Glenn is from, I can't see where he's from. He wants to know, what are the rules about hunter's education classes, and how can they find out whether there's some
The best
hunter
way is
classes?
to go to the website. Now you have to pre-register for those classes, so you need to go and find out where the closest one is and then sign up for it.
Joe's from Pike County. Is there going to be a season to coyote hunt? He would like to coyote hunt during the muzzle loading season.
You can actually coyote hunt year-round. We do have the nighttime season now that runs from February through May with shotgun only, and that's a nighttime thing. So,
Thomas from Western Kentucky, are turkey affecting quail populations?
That's a good question that we get often. The quick answer is no. There are a lot of folks that think that turkeys eat a lot of quail. There has been research done on this, and to my knowledge, there's never been a quail chick or any size quail found inside of a turkey. They can compete for similar food sources, but no, that's not the reason that the quail aren't doing so strong.
I'm getting a lot of questions about what you have to do to get a disabled license. And if you have a disability, you have to go to a doctor and get a certificate to do that sort of thing. But if you can afford to buy your hunting license, I'm disabled, I wouldn't necessarily have to buy, and I'm ex-military, I wouldn't have to buy one. I do buy that, and I would encourage folks, if they can, to buy their license. If they don't, we can't survive as an agency. I mean, I would encourage those, if they can, to do that. I do that myself. Julie is from Fayette County. Again, what can landowners do to increase habitat for quail? We're getting a lot of these.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad we're getting those questions. Don't have a lot of time to really get into the nuts and bolts of habitat management right now, but short answer, contact your local private lands biologist, have them come out and pay you a visit on your property. It's free, no strings attached, and they'll help you out with recommendations and a management plan.
And I had somebody recently say, man, they're not doing anything about quail. We are on it. Our folks are on it, and they're working hard. And that's a challenge because things have changed. Farming practices have changed over the years. Everything has changed habitat-wise, but we're on it.
Absolutely, we sure are.
Shane is from Estill County. What does one need to do if they have a road-killed animal, a bobcat, owl, etc., legally mounted? Some things you can legally do, and
yeah, that's kind of two separate questions. Yeah. The owl you can't possess at all; it's federally protected. You can't have that at all. The bobcat or anything else would be just like the deer. You'd need to contact the conservation officer, let him bring you a disposal permit, and go about it that way.
Larry is from Scott County. Can you shoot a deer over the food you set out? Can you bait?
For deer?
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Frank is from Spencer County. Can you dispose of deer carcasses on wildlife management areas?
I don't think so. I would say depend on the management area, but I can't think of one right now that would allow that. So.
And we're getting a lot of these, so it's the bottom of the hour, and some people may have just been tuning in. Rogers from Montgomery County. If a deer is taken on your own property and you process it, do you need to have any type of information?
You still need to telecheck. Yeah, you still need to telecheck that animal. Keep the conservation number, and you still need to have a harvest log with you, which would have the species, the sex, the county you took it in, and the date with the confirmation number.
Todd is from Boone County, lives within the city limits, a deer on his backyard. Can you take a deer on your property within the city with archery equipment?
Depend on the city ordinances. We don't regulate. As long as the season's in, things like that, we wouldn't have a problem with it, but you need to check with the city there and see.
Carrie's from Callaway County. How do you get a hold of a conservation officer?
You can call 1-800-25-ALERT, tell them which county you're in, and they'll be able to tell you the officer. Or you can go to the website and look up whichever county that you're interested in, and the contact information will be there.
Chris is from Rowan County. When is Rowan County going to have a longer hunting season?
Depends on which season he's referring to.
I think he's talking about deer season. Yeah.
Oh, deer season. Right now, I believe Rowan is a 3, and regardless where we watch each county, we have management goals for the counties, and depending on the county estimate, we increase or decrease it, the zone, and that's how we make our decision.
Facebook question from Caden in Laurel County. What do you do if you kill a spike buck but thought it was a doe?
You still have to check it as an antlered animal.
I shot a doe one time. We looked at it on camera, saw it coming in. It had this thing going down on the other side of its face. It was an antler.
It's your antlered animal.
Guess what? It tasted pretty good. There went my. All right, Ron's from Nelson County. How many coyotes are you allowed to shoot in a day?
There's no limit on coyotes.
Shoot them all.
Shoot them all.
Please. Owen County. This person does not want to be identified, but he wants to know, what can you do about domestic cats that have gone wild and I've seen that out there when they're, when they're out in the woods chasing critters. Is there anything we can do about that?
I'm not sure what the legalities are on that. The best thing would be to, let your local humane society
Tell them
play a
they go
part
stray.
in that,
Tell them
right?
they go stray out there. Looks like Alex is from Jefferson County. Is it legal to hunt in a power line cut?
As long as you have permission to be there, yeah.
Okay, William is a little confused. I think he's from Hart County. He said if it's illegal to bait deer, how come you can buy deer corn from Walmart? It's not
It's not illegal.
illegal.
To bait deer. It is illegal to bait turkey and some other things, but
Y'all are doing such a good job. We've answered a bunch of questions tonight. You're answering so fast, I can't pick out another one in time. Randall from Muhlenberg County, again, coyotes. Is it legal to shoot coyotes anytime during the year? Can you hunt them year-round?
yes, you can.
All right, and here we're getting a bunch of these. Jennifer is from Laurel County and wants to know where we can hunt wild boar in Kentucky. Well, first of all, we don't want to glorify pig hunting, and all these are farm animals that have escaped. There's nothing wonderful about shooting a farm pig that's kind of nasty and they carry disease once they've. We do not encourage anybody to do this. If they're loose in your area, we'd like you to kill them all. Why do we not want people to why do we not want pigs out
Right,
there?
they destroy the habitat really bad. They, like Tim referred to, they carry a lot of disease that carries over to our domestic pigs. And if you have wild pigs on your property, we encourage you to call our department and let them know and work with us to try to eradicate those animals.
In the same vein earlier, Jimmy from Fayette County got dogs running loose and chasing deer all over the place. Humane Society.
Right, that's going to be your best bet.
All right, Robert is from Marion County. Can a convicted felon hunt with a bow or crossbow?
As long as he's not on parole, probation, something like that, he's allowed to use archery equipment.
Here's a common question that I get all the time. I think it's an old wives' tale. Rick is from Boone County. Is a spike buck always a spike buck?
Definitely not.
No.
They're a spike, they're yearling. Sometimes they can be this year's fawn, a spike, but usually a year and a half or a fawn.
Tina Lewis, and Tina's from Lewis County. Is a felon before 1984 or after allowed to bow hunt? That's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But go ahead and hit that for her.
Sure. The dates on that is for any type of firearm, it's July 15th, 1994 for a long gun. So, yeah, the bow and arrow, he should be good.
Okay, Ricky is from Henderson. What state programs will pay to improve natural habitat for hunting, such as wetland programs?
Yeah, we've got several different programs available. If you're really focusing on wetlands, you're probably going to want to work with some of the federal programs, like the Wetland Reserve Program, WRP. Landowners can actually get paid money to install habitat. We have a state program as well, the Kentucky Partners for Wetland Wildlife, that can help out with some wetland habitat as well.
Jewel is from Clay County, Tennessee. And we want to thank all our out-of-state viewers. We had a bunch of them, and we so appreciate them watching our show. And a lot of them are hunting in Kentucky. Is it legal to shoot crows?
Yeah, there's a crow season in Kentucky, but the law says if they're coming from or going to an act of depredation, then they are legal to shoot. With outside of the season, you can't use any kind of call or blind, anything like that. But, yeah.
And here's a good question. Tommy's from Warren County. Coyotes are obviously predators that you can hunt year-round, but you have to have a hunting license
That's correct.
to shoot them.
Yeah. Unless you're on your own property and you're license exempt, you'd need a hunting license.
Barrett, it's from Morgan County. Are you allowed to trap on WMAs?
You are, yes.
Jamie is from Pulaski County. Are there any public shooting ranges around them where they can get their rifle sight in? Does the department have any places around where folks can do that throughout the state?
Yeah, several of our wildlife management areas have the shooting ranges, the tube shooting ranges. I can't list them all offhand, but there are several around. I'm sure they're listed on our website.
Yeah, and if you, for some reason, don't get your question answered tonight, and we've got a bunch of them. I mean, we can't answer them all, but if that's the case, let me give you some other ideas about how to get your questions out there. Feel free to write to the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources, number 1 Sportsman's Lane, Frankfort, Kentucky 40601, or call our information people. They are the best in the world, 1-800-858-1549. They're going to be getting a bunch of questions next week, or fw.ky.gov. And I'm telling you what, our information people are so fantastic, and they have the answers, and they will help you out. Okay. Here is a fellow from Spencer County, wants to know how many species of deer are there in this state?
We have 2 species of deer, our whitetail, and then around the Louisville area we have some Sika deer that are around.
I've seen them on Gene
I have
Snyder.
too. Yeah, right along the
And I was like,
Billtown
wait,
exit.
that doesn't look right.
Yeah,
Now, are you allowed? I guess you're allowed to take them.
yeah, they're I believe open season on those.
They're year-round. They're a non-native, so.
Right. DJ's from Floyd County. Interesting question. Can you make and sell a knife made with deer antler or elk antler from Kentucky?
Yeah, you'd need to have a taxidermy license in order to sell that.
Tim is from Rockcastle County. Are there piebald deer in Kentucky? And what causes that condition?
Yeah, we touched on that earlier. Yes, we have piebald deer in Kentucky, and it's just a different color phase melanistic issue.
David is from Kenton County. How can you get a copy of your orange card if he loses it?
It's a good question. You can go to the website. You can print them off there. They're pretty easy to find on the website. Just follow the links and you can print that off.
Jason is from Booneville. Can you carry a shotgun to squirrel hunt during modern gun deer season?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Jason's from Hardin County. Are turkey considered still on the roost if they are moving around on the limb that they are roosting on?
Yeah, they need to fly down first.
They need to come on down.
Come on down.
Richard is from Greene County. Is it legal to pick up roadkill birds for mounting?
Not if they're protected. Not if they're fairly protected, birds of prey, things like that. You can't possess those at all. So.
Okay. Sam wants to know, elk are on your property. Can you shoot them during deer season? Now, that's all the information I have. So he's obviously in the zone. So what does he have to do to make that happen legally?
Go ahead.
If Sam's a drawn elk hunter, yes. If not, in order to shoot an elk, they have to be drawn for the actual quota hunt. And if they are outside of the 16 county restoration zone, if he's the actual landowner, he could shoot that just like he would a whitetail. And if he's not the landowner, he can purchase the out-of-zone elk permit and take that animal.
Josh is from Adair County. If I farm the property, do I still need a hunting license?
Yes, you still need a hunting license if you just farm the property. If you're not on the deed, if you don't own the property, you're going to need a hunting license and whatever permit.
Mary Ann Spivey is from Grant County. What's the best location on the deer to shoot to drop the deer? Doesn't want it to run very far. Well, I would always encourage people to shoot right behind that shoulder. And look online. You can find actual little charts to show where to shoot that animal. Now, if you're really, really good, and I don't encourage too many people to do this, but there's a lot of vital things in the neck area. But I would always say, if you're a beginning hunter, always shoot behind that shoulder in the heart and lung area. That deer's not going to go very far, trust me. Wayne's from Grayson County. Do you have to wear orange during rabbit season?
If it coincides with the modern gun season or the muzzleloader season, yeah, you would need to wear, if there's a gun season going on for deer, you need to wear hunter orange.
Tony's from Powell County. Are there mountain lions in Kentucky? And if they see one, can they shoot it?
I don't know if they're here or not. If you do see one, it'd be one of those situations where we don't regulate it. So.
And here's a good question from Hopkins County. Looks like Hagen's his name. If he finds a trespasser on his property, can he physically make that person stay there until someone arrives from law enforcement?
I don't know if he physically can or not. It's not a good idea. I wouldn't advise it. Just call us and let us take care of it.
Because most of the time you're dealing with people who have
They're
weapons.
out there hunting. Sure, they've got some type of weapons.
Dale is from Muhlenberg County. Where can you go pheasant hunting?
You can actually, we don't have a pheasant population, a wild pheasant population in Kentucky. A lot of folks buy pheasants and release them and hunt them on their farms, but we do offer 3 different pheasant quota hunts that you'd have to apply during the month of September. We have one at Clay Wildlife Management Area, one at Yellowbank Wildlife Management Area, and another at Green River Wildlife Management Area during the winter months.
Marion County, if a turkey is eating field corn, if it's coming to a natural area where there's still field corn out, would that be considered a baited area?
No, as long as it's a normal agricultural practice, you're allowed to hunt over that.
Debbie's from Lincoln County. Where do you dispose of your deer carcass after you have taken that animal and cleaned it?
You could dispose of it in your trash services on the back part of your property, but anywhere that you can get it out of sight.
Gary's from Bullitt County. Why is the elk population not growing at a faster rate? I think they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, they're doing really well. They're right at where we want them to be. Our current estimate is around 10,000 animals. That was our population goal, and we are trying to maintain those numbers right there.
Rick from Spencer County. How many doe tags are landowners permitted?
Depends on the zone. In Zone 1, you can shoot as many does as you want as a landowner. You would need to check each one of those animals in, but it's unlimited. So.
Eddie from Caldwell County. Chronic wasting disease. Is that issue here? Do we have this problem in Kentucky?
No, we are CWD free, and some of our neighboring states are CWD positive, but we have a surveillance program that we've been testing animals since 2003, and our biologists do a fantastic job at monitoring our deer herd, and we take disease, especially CWD. We take a lot of work to do that and monitor that, and no, we're free.
Scott's from Laurel County. Is there a bear season in Laurel County?
I'm not sure if that's in Laurel County.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's in. Is that in the bear?
It should be it'll be in the hunting guide.
Yeah, check the hunting guide.
Check the hunting guide. I'm
Okay.
not sure which counties.
We'll try to get back with you on that in just a second as we check the hunting guide. If we don't find that information out, please feel free to call that 1-800 number, 1-800-858-1549, or get on our website, fw.ky.gov. You can find that information on there immediately, or write number 1 Sportsman's Lane, Frankfort, Kentucky, 40601. Vicki is from Hardin County. Doe limits for children hunting or on parents' property.
They would be the same for whatever zone they're in. We don't make a distinction between children and adults.
And what about age limit?
As far as
what age and we covered this earlier, but I think a lot of people have just tuned in. How old does a kid have to be to go hunting?
Well, they can start at any age. When they're 12 to 15, they're going to need a youth hunting license and a youth deer permit. Anybody that's 16 or over is going to need an adult license, and anybody under 12 is license exempt.
Now, somebody just said, hey, do we just admit that there are mountain lions in Kentucky? We didn't say that. We didn't say that at all. You said if you see one?
If you see one, it'd be legal. It'd be legal to harvest. You would need to call your local conservation officer, just so I'm sure the biologist or whoever would want to take samples of it. So.
And a bunch more questions coming in. Let's talk about this real quick. People are wanting to hunt hogs in Kentucky. Trust me, if you love your hunting in Kentucky and you like hunting for deer and you like hunting for turkey, you do not want hogs in your area. A lot of these shows that I see on other channels glamorize hog hunting, and usually what happens is when they haven't done so well on their deer hunt or their turkey hunt, let's go kill a pig because they're easy to kill. But we do not want them in Kentucky. They carry disease. They're horrible. We do not want them.
And they're like a vacuum cleaner in the forest. They'll
eat
everything. They'll eat every acorn and every nut in the woods. So yeah, we don't want those.
Has Kentucky ever considered a handgun only season? This is Albert from Campbell County.
We've had requests for those in the past, and currently we like the system we have set up.
Bobby's from Muhlenberg County. Is a person convicted of a misdemeanor allowed to own a muzzle loader or a deer rifle?
Yeah, we don't stipulate misdemeanors.
Steve is from Taylor County. Are you required to have orange on when you're in a blind?
You are legally required to have orange on when you're in a blind. It would be a good idea to put some orange on the outside of that blind
Thank you
just
very
so
much.
people can see you. It's a safety issue, really. You don't want somebody shooting into your blind or past their target into where you are because they can't see you.
If I was out in the woods, I would have orange on all sides of that blind.
Sure, it's a safety issue.
That's the other hunter's warning sign.
Sure.
Do not shoot in this area. Larry is from Fayette County. Does Kentucky have fallow deer?
Not a free-range fallow deer, no.
Isaiah is from Gallatin County. Coyote hunting at night. What are the regulations?
Those just came into effect. The season is February through the end of May, the beginning of February through the end of May. It's a shotgun only. No single projectile. You can't use a slug. You have to use some other type of ammunition to coyote hunt at night.
Okay, let's take another Facebook question. David Carroll wants to know, can you hunt over a feeder, and is that not considered a baited area?
You can hunt over a feeder for deer. You cannot kill a turkey over that same feeder. You'll run into that sometimes in the fall. You'll be deer hunting and turkey will come up. You cannot take that turkey.
Haley is from Spencer County. Are black squirrels common in Kentucky?
No, not common. It's similar to what Gabe was talking about with the piebald deer. It's just
Coloration.
It's a melanistic color phase that turns them black, but I wouldn't say they're common.
Roger is from Floyd County. Is it legal to sell elk antler sheds?
Yeah, the sheds are fine.
Steve Cottrell, Clay County. Getting into deer hunting this year. First of all, congratulations, you're going to have fun. What's the smallest caliber legally that they can use?
For deer hunting, they can use anything as long as it's a center fire projectile. The shotgun is no larger than a 10. Has to be plugged to hold 3 shells, but as far as caliber, there's no restriction.
Randall is from Muhlenberg County, and he wants to know what caliber of handgun can you hunt with?
Hunt what? Deer?
Yes.
Same thing. It needs to be center fire.
Samantha from Metcalfe County. Are there plenty of bobcats in Metcalfe County?
I can't speak specifically for Metcalfe County, but there's plenty of bobcats all around the state. We've got pretty healthy populations. They're just pretty elusive, and
You don't see 'em a
You don't
lot.
see them, but we have a lot of bobcats.
Joe's from Marion County. How many species of rabbits do we have in Kentucky?
We have 3. We have.
That's a good question.
That is a really good question. We have obviously the eastern cottontail, which is what folks are most common with. We have the Appalachian cottontail over in higher elevations in the mountains, which is very similar to the eastern cottontail. You really can't tell the difference unless you dissect the rabbit and look at the skull. There's some different suture lines on the skull. And then in the western part of the state, we have swamp rabbits, which they're a really neat rabbit. They're a really big rabbit.
Mm-hmm. What county in Kentucky, Glenn wants to know from Butler County, has the most Boone and Crockett bucks? Do we know that?
I don't know that off the top of my head, but one thing that we have seen over the years is that Boone and Crockett's seem to come from the central to western part of the state, and that's really shifted in the last probably 5 to 10 years to where we're shooting Booners everywhere. Somebody calls me and asks, where's the best chance I can shoot a Boone and Crockett whitetail? And I say, anywhere, because they're popping up all over the state. 2 or 3 years ago, we shot 4 Boone and Crockett's out of Whitley County, which is southeast Kentucky, very few deer, mountainous, and we shot 4.
Wow.
You know, so
Lewis County.
Yeah, Lewis County is a
big deer
good county
coming.
that's been a good county for multiple years.
Joe's from Grant County. If you shoot a deer, are you allowed to sell its antlers?
No, you can't sell any part of wildlife unless you have a taxidermy license.
Okay, we've had that one. Okay, Cliff is from Fayette County. Cincinnati, Lexington, Louisville. Is that seem to be a lot of trophy deer in that triangular area? Does it seem to you like?
Yeah, we would kind of refer to that as the Golden Triangle. There are a lot of deer in this area, and yeah, it's a good quality production area for whitetail.
Beulah's from Russell County. Can you use a light at night to kill coyotes?
Yeah, during the season, during the February through May season, you can.
Garrett's from Spencer County. How long do you have to maintain and carry your harvest log?
Through that season, you have to maintain it through that season.
Jack's from Estill County. We've been getting a bunch of these, and this is not a hunting question really, but black vultures have been creating a problem for calves. Who do you call?
You would really need to call Wildlife Services. That's a federal government entity, and since that bird is protected under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, they can help you out with some control and management of those birds.
Todd's from Campbell County. Can you sell a mounted animal if you have all the paperwork that goes with it, whatever that means? Yeah. And let's go ahead and cover this. I mean, I'm getting a bunch of these. Can you sell a mounted deer head in a yard sale, or can you buy them in an antique? You hear that music? What'd you say? The fastest hour in Kentucky. In Kentucky history is right here on Kentucky Afield. It's unreal. Let's get a few more questions. First of all, thank you all for calling in tonight, and we'll try to sneak a few more questions out here while the music rolls. Can you believe that was an hour? That's unreal. Mike is from Kenton County. If you're trapping during modern gun season for deer, is it necessary to wear hunter orange?
Yes. You need to wear, if you're going to be in the field hunting during any kind of gun season, you're going to need
for
to wear
your own
orange.
safety. Please do that. Thank you all again for coming out, and we thank BOW for answering the phones. And let's see. More people want to pig hunt. Don't pig hunt. If you see them, kill them, and then you don't want them to be here. Trust me. Is it legal to use a live chicken for coyote hunting for bait? Dan wants to know.
I would think that would be fine.